we'd like to say goodbye to you now on behalf of Air France KLM and of course on behalf of the whole.
So yeah, I traveled to Czech Republic and I fell in love. Wait, it's not what you think. See, it all started with that message right there. The message that I got from VFS telling me that our visa applications had been forwarded to the head office. And heck, now this time I was sure we were going to get those visas because we had tried for 3 times and we were denied the visas. The reasons they gave between me and you really didn't hold water. But hey, now that we had help from the ambassador himself, the visas came through and the travel was good to go. So, next things next, we had to find where to stay. The world is such a big place. I think everybody, if you can and if you have the opportunity, I would encourage you to travel as much as you can. There's so much more that you could learn out there, and it's partly what I hope to share in this particular vlog.
Hi guys, so if you're watching this, then that means kudos to me. I started vlogging. It's what I've been wanting to do for quite some time. So having the opportunity to share with people my mindset and my approach towards life in the way that I see things, and because for me it's always the three things, it's always mindset, it's meditative envisioning, and it's the power of faith. It's literally what has gotten me from where I used to be to where I am today, and I believe it's still going to take me to where I want to be. So I'm traveling somewhere. Of course, I'm not the one who's driving. I'm just seated here just to record this for you guys. But my brother is always so kind to help me, and so I thank him for that. That's the beauty of having family and friends. If it's not available, there's always somebody who is willing to help. I thank you guys for that. Yeah, I'm traveling to a country that I'm sure most of you have never heard about or never even thought about traveling to. It's in Eastern Europe. It was formerly called Chechnya, if I'm not mistaken. Chechnya. Yeah, now it's called Czech Republic. So that's where I'm traveling to. And I love to travel because for me, it always gives me an opportunity to tap into different mindsets, like of different cultures, of how people do things differently in different places. Because I think most times we have a challenge when we are confined to certain spaces. You're born in a certain place, you're born in a certain region, and that in itself has the power to shape your mind and the way that you think about things and the way that you perceive things, right? And you'd be so surprised to find that in the neighboring town or in the country next to you or somewhere else, it's not the same. It's totally different, and for me, I appreciate that, because then it's always like a check and balance for you, It's like when you think that you're the superstar in your own little town, my encouragement to people is always stretch yourself further. Okay, when you become the big boy in your group, or when you become the queen in your group because you've achieved more than the others in your group, then my advice to you is find another group where you're going to be much smaller, so that it can push you to keep growing. And for me, that's what traveling does for me. So I've tapped into so many ideas, and I've translated so many ideas from all my different travels that whenever I bring them back home, it's new. Like, people have no idea that, that's possible. They had no idea that that's possible. And it's always fascinating for them. Like, how did you think about that? How did you come up with that? But traveling is what has given me that opportunity. So previously, I would just, make my travel videos and just keep them to myself. But I just thought, why not combine what I'm doing in terms of career and business coaching and mentorship for people and bring them behind the scenes to my actual life, how I tap into these things and how I see life and how I relate with life. So yeah, let's fly out. Let's go see what Czech Republic has for us. I'm going to be starting from Ostrava. Ostrava is on the northeastern side of Czech Republic. And then after Ostrava, the one thing that I'm dying to do is have a night walk in Prague, which is the capital city of Czech Republic. I'm told it's beautiful at night because of the lights and everything. So that's what I want to go and see. And more specifically, I would love to see the National Museum. I'm told it's a spectacle at night. I'm told it's a spectacle at night. So that's what I'm dying to see. So in the words of Adele, see you on the other side. I know she didn't say that. I just put them there. See you on the other side.
We'd like to say goodbye to you now on behalf of Air France KLM and of course on behalf of the whole crew. Thank you very much for flying with us, and we hope to see you soon on one of our aircraft. Dames en heren, welkom in Nederland, welkom in Schiphol, Amsterdam.
turns out after the flight that we had to drive for almost 4 hours, but trust me, it felt like 8 hours from Prague all the way to Ostrava. Yeah, because Ostrava was where we're going to start from, so it was quite a long ride, but yeah, we had to brace ourselves for it. So Ostrava it is. So like I said earlier on, I love traveling because it has opened my eyes to new opportunities, and it always introduces me to things that I would never have experienced just from being in one location. You know, being able to interact with different cultures and with different people and see how they do things and how they think always opens me up. You know, it's the same way that when I watch movies or when I pay attention to anything, I like to look beyond, and I like to see beyond what's on the surface. I'm always trying to understand the mindset behind it. Like, how did it come to be? Why is it like that? You know, and for some reason, you know, it's because of that kind of thinking that most times I'd consider myself a contrarian. You know, I'm not the type who will easily go with, oh, because everybody says it is this, then okay, bandwagon, it's this. No, I like to look things up for myself, do some little bit of research, which I think is a habit that's very important for everybody, especially if you have a career or if you're running a business. You always want to dedicate some time to doing some research. You know, you want to do some research in your field so that you're more educated, you know, you're more aware of what you're dealing with and not just going with hearsay. Because the power and the room belongs to the person who is knowledgeable in their field. For you as somebody who is a go-getter or somebody who, you know, is a big dreamer, that's an opportunity. Where everybody else is lazy to do the research and do the work, that's where you step in. That's where you do the work. That's where you do the research. And at the end of the day, that's how you lead your field. So yeah, if you have the opportunity to travel, I'd encourage you to travel. I had such a good time in Czech Republic that I'd really love to go back and do a proper vlog, because truth is, by the time I shot these videos, I really wasn't thinking about vlogging. But like I said, when I visited Czech Republic and I saw what I saw and I look back at these videos, I just fell in love with vlogging, and I said, you know what, I think this is what I'm going to do. So there you have it, my explanation to falling in love in Czech Republic. Like I said, it's not what you think. I fell in love with vlogging, not what you were thinking. So thank you. Thank you for watching the other vlog. Thank you for watching this vlog. Thank you for coming back to watch the next vlog. I hope you loved it. I love you guys so much, and enjoy the rest of it.